Let's now take a look at the anatomy, some of the key components within the Viper2. Under the cover here, this is where you're going to find your ink cartridge bay. They're all nicely labeled for you. You will also notice in here that there is a sensor switch. When we are operating the machine, this door must be kept closed. To release it, you have your release levers, and that's how we will release the cartridges. Over on this side, you have your two buttons, bed up, bed down. This is to set the height of the bed, which sets the distance the platen is from the print head. You will notice on the front here that there are labels saying do not lift here, which is why when we lifted the machine out of the crate, we did not lift from here. We lift from the side of the machine, the actual frame where the feet are. This whole bottom part down here that the platen rides on, okay, it's this off-white colored part. This is the bed of the machine. This sample that's on here, okay, this was just a sample printout. You can discard this or you can hang on to it and take a look at it. Over on the other side here, we've got our bed load and eject buttons. This will actually pull the platen into the machine or eject it out of the machine. And we've got our layer button. And the layer button is used to control the passes for like when we're doing a dark print where we need to do a white underbase and then a color pass. Up on the top, front right, you've got your control panel. And next to your control panel, you've got your emergency stop switch, also known as an e-stop button. So if we're standing in front of the machine, off to the right-hand side, you've got this door, and inside that door, that is where you're going to find your waste bottle. So whenever we're doing any kind of cleaning, whether it be a head cleaning or some kind of a flushing, all the waste winds up in this bottle. And then we've got our shutoff valve, which can stop the flow so it doesn't drip for when we're emptying the bottle out and things of that nature. You always want to make sure during operation that this valve is all the way up, which is all the way open. Now we'll take a look inside at the capping station and wiper and the components that actually make the printer work. Now let's take a look at the heart and soul of the printer. Really our print head and our capping station and things of that nature. The parts that actually make the printer print. So we're going to start by removing this protective cover. When you remove it, you slide it off to the side towards the E switch and then lift this front edge up and then lift the back edge off. Set that off to the side. Now, we've already released, for the purpose of this video, the print head, so it's going to move freely. Yours will not do this. We will show you during the maintenance how we release this, but at this point in time, it's not necessary to see that. This section right here, okay, this whole unit is referred to as the carriage. The carriage is what the print head and everything sits in. That's this whole unit right here. Now, inside here, you have your dampers, and what the dampers are is they act as a filter as well as a buffer to help prevent air getting into the print head. The air settles up to the top of the dampers. They're also a little check valve. Underneath that, of course, is the real engine, which is the print head itself. If I now take this carriage and slide it out of the way, over here we've got our capping station, and outside of the print head, the capping station is one of the most important parts of the printer. The capping station prevents air from getting to the print head, and of course air getting to the print head is what causes the head to clog, so we want to always prevent that. And that's one major purpose of the capping station. It also assists us during the cleaning process by helping draw ink down through the print head and into the waste tank. Off to the side here, you've got this little rubber squeegee, and that's called the wiper. And the purpose of the wiper is when the printhead leaves the capping station and goes out over the garment, the wiper comes out right before it does that and wipes the bottom of the printhead to prevent any ink that might be dripping on the bottom of the printhead from dripping onto our garments. I'm now going to grab the carriage, move it over a little bit. You will notice in here, okay, this is your tubing harness. This is actually what supplies the printhead with ink. The ink comes out of the cartridges and goes into this harness, into the dampers, and then ultimately into the printhead. On the back side, you've got your ribbon cable, also known as an FMC cable. I'm going to now bring this back over here, and continuing on, you've got this metal rod down here, okay, and that's the rail that the carriage rides on. You have your belt, which actually moves the whole carriage assembly. And then up here, you've got this translucent strip. This is called an end coder strip. And what an end coder strip does is it tells the printhead where it is. Okay, that is something that is important to keep clean, which we will talk about during the maintenance section. Up at the top here, you've actually got a big fan that runs when we're printing. And what this helps with is it helps pull some of the overspray that we get anytime we spray something out of a spray nozzle and pulls it into this container. And the fan is what draws that, as well as it atomizes that ink as it comes into this area. Close to the ink side of the machine, we've got our pressure pump. So that black box that you see down there where that tubing comes into, that's actually what supplies pressure to the ink cartridges to supply a better feed of ink to the printhead itself.